greatest country in the world, and it is worth fighting for. It is worth bleeding for, and if it takes it, it's worth dying for the greatest country that this world has ever seen.
Yeah, the greatest country that this world has ever seen. Those are absolutely true words. It is good to be an American today. Float those American flags in the chat, my dear America family. My name is Chad Prather. In here for Dear America, I want you guys to hit like, hit share, hit subscribe if you have not done so already. Let's push today's likes, the little thumbs up below the video. Let's get them up to about, 1,500, 2,000, why not? Oh, man, we're going to have a good time today. We got a lot of stuff to get into. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I was talking with somebody the other day, and they were yesterday, actually. They were talking about this Doge stuff, and they were talking about the Medicare, Medicaid, the budget bill, all the stuff about cutting the spending, cutting the waste, and finding all the fraud that's out there, and how many people are actually fighting against something that is supposed to make our country stronger, more resilient, wealthier, and just great again. And I thought, how do you protest that? Imagine being a cuck for the federal government. Yeah, I said it. I mean, you're sitting there, your cozy little suburban home, you know, maybe the corner of the hotel room, and instead of your usual thrills and spills of life, you find yourself getting off on the side of bureaucrats and politicians playing their little games. That's a sick, twisted little reality show these people are living in. I mean, there's some high stakes here, and they're getting entertainment out of it. They've learned to live off of the government in such a way that now they're fighting against the idea that we're going to expose their fraud. And these people are happy to watch the American people like you and me, get screwed over day in and day out. And you know what? The government's good at doing it. They do it with flair. Promises made, promises broken. Little soap operas where the plot twists are more predictable than the sunrise. And you know what? These guys, they can't look away. They want to watch the drama unfold right before their eyes. Taxes, health care slipping through our fingers, economy doing the cha-cha while average Joes like us struggle to keep up. And there they are, glued to their little screen, reveling in the chaos. It's absurd. And they find pleasure in it. I mean, they must, because why else would you be out in the street in the middle of a cold day holding up a sign defending big government? They chuckle at the spin narratives. They've crafted tales of hope while these politicians behind closed doors are figuring out new ways to just break us, cutting deals that the rest of us just would never approve of. It's a sick thrill that these people get. They're watching the puppeteers pull the strings while the marionettes dance, except the marionettes, they're us, the citizens, the ones left to pick up the pieces when all of this crap goes down. But deep down, folks, it's not just entertainment. It's a reflection of society. These are the values these people hold. It's a mirror held up to their faces showing the absurdity of it all. A dark comedy where the punchlines are our lives, our struggles, our dreams, and those dreams are being deferred. So there are a bunch of little voyeurs out there just happy to watch us get screwed over. Spectators of life, protesting this idea that we could actually make this country great the way our forefathers imagined it. So don't be a cuck for the system. Don't be a cuck for the system, the one that's screwing over everybody. Don't sit in the corner and watch. I want us to use our voices today and speak out against such atrocities. And that's what we're going to do here on Dear America. I am so thankful you guys are in the chat. Float those American flags. I want to see my patriots that are exposing the joke, which is the woke. And not only that, the big government that is screwing you in the corner. All right, guys, before we go any further, before we bring the panel on, I want to remind you guys to text Graham to 989898. Our friends over at Birch Gold, they want to secure your future. They want to make sure that your retirement is taken care of and that your finances are backed by something tangible, such as real gold. And they got it over at Birch Gold. Text Graham to 989898. They will get you a free information kit, no obligation, tell you how you can take that old IRA or 401k that's sitting there doing nothing, roll it over into a retirement account that an IRA backed by gold. Make sure that they are advising you. We would not recommend anyone to you that we have not vetted, that we do not participate in their business, invest with them. We wouldn't recommend anybody if we didn't trust them. In Birch Gold, they are trustworthy. So give them an opportunity to convince you about your future. Text Graham, GRAHAM to 989898. It's almost like Graham is still here. It's weird. He's off in Washington, D.C. I hope you guys are praying for him. He's doing great things. All right, let's get into it, folks. Before I ramble any further, have no fear. The guy that is the one who takes care of, he's my conscience. Producer Royce is here.
Good morning.
You're
Good
not
morning,
a cuck.
good
You're
morning.
not a cuck for the government.
I am not, and I hope to never be.
I mean, for whatever. Listen to Todd chiming in. A bit dog always barks, and there's Todd.
It's not your turn yet, Todd. Sorry.
Wow. I'm not going to take that.
I was defending you.
I'm not going to take that any further. Then we need to. Yes, it's like a bodiless, ethereal voice. Like who? Todd? That's what I hear in my prayer times. Todd's voice. The guy that just sits there and shakes his head is in the house. Y'all say hello to Mexican Tony.
What's up, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. Feels like a feisty day today. It's hump day today, right?
It is hump day.
Is it Wednesday today? It is hump day. Yeah.
Mike. It is. It's hump day. I gotta go get on an airplane, go to Washington D.C. and see some of that firsthand garbage going on. And then, of course, the guy whose voice, let's put a face to the voice, everybody's favorite redneck, Hot Seat Todd is here.
Can I just say, promises made, promises kept. The House passed the budget. No taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime, and no taxes on Social Security. Let's get it done. I want to win. I'm not tired of winning. Are you tired of winning? Because I'm not tired of winning.
So much winning.
More.
You're going to be tired of winning.
So much.
More.
Todd,
so much winning.
You and I, Todd, you and I being Cowboy fans, we forgot what winning feels like. So this feels wonderful.
I agree.
Yep.
It's lovely. The only thing that would make it win even more is if Donald Trump signed an executive order that Jerry Jones had to sell the Cowboys.
Man, that'd be
Yeah,
fantastic.
no doubt. That would be awesome.
I'd come back in. I'd come back to Cowboys Nation. I'd come back. I made a conversion experience during this football season. At the end, whenever Jerry pulled his stuff, when he was doing more and more stuff, I said, I just can't. I've been a Cowboys fan for 52 years. I can't do it again. I just can't do it again.
It's painful.
I can't do it anymore. Why am I being a cuck for the Cowboys? I can't do it anymore.
That is Chad's favorite word
Yep,
today.
that is his word today.
It's about as dirty as I can be on this show. You know what I'm saying? All right, we got some stuff to get into. And as always, we want to do that. I want you guys to blow up the chat. Trump did this. This is, at this stage in the game, like, it's just trolling everything. Trump came out with a gold idea, allowing an immigration. I want to hear in the chat what you guys feel about this. $5 million, you get a green card privilege plus. Membership has its benefits. If I understand this right, correct me if I'm wrong, is basically if you pay the federal government $5 million, Trump will give you a permanent green card. Am I understanding that right?
That's what it sounds like to me, dude. That's
get
something.
You get green card privileges plus. I'm trying to understand exactly how. I mean, I get it. Trump's a businessman. He's trying to figure out ways to fill the coffers. To me, I think the immigration process. I think the path to legal citizenship. It needs to be a difficult one. I don't think it's one you just stroke a check to.
Yeah.
I think it needs to be a difficult one, but I do think it needs to be a little streamlined in terms of the process and get rid of some of the bureaucracy. But I don't know about making it a business deal.
Well, when I first read this, I was like, well, Don, the only people that can afford that are cartels and terrorists.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, refugees aren't coming up here with a Trump gold card.
Like
that was interesting to me.
Suicide bomber enters the American and blows up a stadium with a gold card.
I don't get. Maybe you guys can explain, but I don't get the purpose. I think that's what everybody's scratching their head
to
about.
bring
right?
back some money, I guess. Bring back some money to the U.S. because the immigrants have cost this country so much.
I think the idea, Tony, is I think the idea, and correct me here, I think it's to attract high net worth people and incentivize individuals that will come in here and actually boost the economy and maybe even create jobs. This, to me, reeks of sort of that H-1B visa debate we were having that Elon Musk was defending so wholeheartedly about bringing people in to do tech jobs and things like that. But again, the system was broken. This seems a little weird to me.
Wouldn't you count that as DEI a little bit? Like only rich people can do
Yeah,
it?
I'm just
saying, you know.
I mean, Todd, I mean, I agree with you because this is one of those things where you might attract nothing but like terrorist countries, cartels,
drugs,
because they're the ones that can afford it. And well, you're gonna have sleeper cells. You know, they're gonna send their sleeper cells in because they're the only ones that can afford it.
We already got that.
It is, yeah, no, I mean, I get it. I'm just, you know.
Here's my take, though. Here on the flip side, there's a couple of ways to look at this, and we got to move on. But there's a couple of ways to look at this. First of all, there's still going to be a vetting process, right? I mean, there's still somebody shows up and says, "Hey, man, I got," you know, they're not going to open up the trunk of the Cadillac and be like, "Here's briefcases full of cash." They're still going to vet these guys. They're still going to know who they're allowing to come in here. But, you know, I mean, maybe Trump's setting a trap, too. I mean, you might be a way to catch certain nefarious characters out there.
Possibly.
But I can see where basically you're saying, I want to attract, you want to come in here? We want to attract high worth, high net individuals who are going to come in here. Because, I mean, look how many millions of dollars we've paid to illegals to be here. Mm-hmm. And so he's kind of flipping the script and saying, okay, well, let's have people pay us to come into the country. I mean, it wouldn't take but a couple, however many, I can't do the math off the top of my head, but you get a few of these and you start paying down the national debt pretty quick.
Well, my thing, I agree with you, Chad, and in the words of Admiral Akbar, it's a trap.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. I don't know. I just know that Trump tends to think a lot deeper than I do, and he doesn't always show his cards. And so I'm gonna say, okay, I'm willing to watch. I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. And Trump did say he was going to vet them. I mean, we're not stupid. He's not just saying first come, first serve. You buy the ticket, you get a fast pass, to ride Space Mountain. That's not what we're talking about here.
What if he's just trolling? What if he just, what if this is one of those things to just, have people like talk about $5 million. Who can afford $5 million to become a citizen? I mean, all the regular people who've been on the books waiting for a court date to try to get their green card going. Yeah. Like what? Where did $5 million come from?
And Chad, you're a lot smarter than I am. I know we got to move on. You're a lot smart. Well, you are in this type of instance. You're a lot smarter than I am. But how do you vet a 21-year-old mom that's just trying to take care of her family that's given $5 million to cross a border to get a gold card and to blow up 2,000 people?
Well, I think, if Kendra showed up today with $5 million, you would have your suspicions.
I'd still spend it.
I mean, you'd let her in the house, right? If your wife showed up today with an unaccounted for, she shows up in a black Crown Vic with a bent over CB antenna that's tied to the hood, which I mean, y'all might drive that around.
That is exactly why we love Todd. I would still spend it.
I would still spend it. You know what? And Kendra can blow me up all she wants.
Oh, she's right there. She just said he would ask 0 questions.
Yeah,
she's probably right.
$5 million. So 0. She just put it in the chat. He would ask 0 questions. Wow. Let me see some American flags in the chat. Let's let them know that we're here. Let's let them know that we are here. Yesterday we did not get put in editor's pick, and it hurt my feelings. My first day all on my own, and it hurt me. It hurt me deep. Representative Jayapal. She had this to say, this racist chick. You know what? Let's just let her racism spew right out of her mouth. Let it play.
Distractions. We can't let them deport the millions of families across this country who have been doing the work that keeps our economy going every day. We can't let them scapegoat and criminalize immigrants who contribute, who are our neighbors, our friends, our churchgoers, our community around us that we deeply love. Immigrants are us. Immigrants are us, and we all deserve respect and dignity. If you look at the food that's on your table, think about who picked it.
Who picked it?
If you look at your homes and their distractions, we can't let them deport.
Tony, have you ever shopped at Immigrants Are Us?
Yes.
Yeah, it's called Aldani or whatever.
It's called Home Depot.
Immigrants are us.
I mean, the thing, I've said this before on the show. I think there has to be a path to citizenship. Like I said, if there's been a family here that came in illegally, been in the country for a while, 5, 10 years, whatever, and they have young people, like young children, let them do a tour in the service, our military, and have them get a pathway to citizenship. Like you have to pay back the country, do something, because obviously you're taking resources from the country illegally, so you have to pay it back some way, and then open a path that way. Because, I mean, like I said, it's going to be tough trying to get rid of. I don't know how we don't even have the numbers of how many illegal immigrants are here, but I mean they do construction. I mean, a lot of the people you see are doing construction. They're doing, field work, and I understand they're here illegally and trying to get everybody out of here. I don't know how they're going to be able to do all that.
Yeah. Well, my thing is there is a path to citizenship. It's not an easy path, and I'm okay with that actually. Like I think there should be, and again, let me say this for American citizens. I think that. I think I've said this for years, but I think Vivek Ramaswamy said it recently where, like, before you graduate high school, you should have to pass the citizenship test. That should be a requirement for graduating.
Absolutely.
People should have to American kids should have to pass a citizenship, not to become citizens, but just so that they have to pass. They have to know these things because they're already citizens. But I think there is a path to citizenship. It's just a bureaucratic nightmare right now, and I wish that they could get that under control. And there are people who get screwed by the system. Now, I will tell you in breaking news this morning, former Blackwater CEO Eric Prince, he offered to deport 12 million illegal aliens before 2026 midterms. That's a huge undertaking. That's 500,000 deportations a month that he's willing to undertake for the Trump administration. He's willing to do it for the nifty little price of $25 billion.
Yeah. Don't you find it interesting? Because doesn't she go on to say that, like, oh, the illegals, they pick your food and they pick. This is the same party that wanted to keep slaves pre-Civil War. Like, this is the same party, and now they want to keep illegals. They haven't changed in 200-300 years at this point. Like, and I'm sorry to say this because we have a lot of that in the farms here in Mississippi. You think it hurts farmers to not be able to use illegals in their business, but they don't have to pay. They don't have to pay taxes. They don't have to pay labor taxes. It does not hurt them. It hurts the economy. Like, I'm sorry, stop it. Get your lazy ass 17-year-old out of bed and put them in the damn fields and have them pick sweet potatoes.
And most of our crops are being picked by machines.
Exactly.
Let's be real clear on that. This is a scary deal. I mean, this news came out yesterday. A Texas rancher down outside of Brownsville. To be clear, this was an IED. He was killed by an IED. It was a suspected cartel IED. Near the Mexican border. Now, to be clear, this was not on the American side. This was just across on the Mexican side. But still, this is a crazy thing. The cartels this shows you just how deadly and capable they are. This guy goes over there and he drives his truck into an IED. Todd, this ain't Afghanistan, man.
No, and just to scare you just a little bit more, I understand it's on the Mexican side, but a lot of Americans, and I know I've got, Common Sense and the guys with I Came With Fire that's in the chat right now, and they will agree with me here. The way these IEDs work, this was not an accident. This was intentional, okay? Because these things are set off either by remote or by cell phone. Okay, so there is somebody sitting in the tree line or sitting off somewhere watching this truck go by. This was intentional. This was not an accident. So this guy lost his life because somebody took it.
It was targeted.
Not because he accidentally ran down the wrong road and ran over something he shouldn't have. No, these things are set off either by cell phone or by remote control. This was intentional, 100%.
Yeah. And to be clear, look at that divot in the road. I mean,
that's a big one, dude. That's a
big bomb right there.
So Chad, you said before the show that the border kind of gets kind of iffy down there. You don't really know where it starts and where it stops.
I got friends down in Del Rio. They still go across and drink beer every Thursday and have lunch. Listen, that's the part of the world. South Texas, there's some dangerous places across the border. There's some folks down in South Texas. They crisscross the border like nothing. Used to be commonplace every day where Americans would go across and come back. There's a lot of them still do. They got family and friends over there. I mean, it's a very fuzzy spot for those who live down there. So they're back and forth. So this guy going across probably was not an unusual thing for him to do. And obviously they targeted him, made an example out of him.
Exactly.
The cartels aren't wasting gunpowder without a purpose. You know, when they string a body up from a bridge, there was a reason.
I will tell you what this means. This is the cartels telling the Marine Corps, the Army, the Navy, or any other branch of service that wants to cross the border, enter at your own risk. We have these things. They're here. Enter at your own risk. That's a message right there.
Yeah,
loud
it
and
is.
clear.
And to a point, somebody made in the chat that it's very possible he was still on his own land. I mean, you know, there's some of those border ranches down there. And listen, I've been down there in Del Rio. I've got my dear friends down there that got a ranch right there on the lake down there, and it's a great fishing lake. But you better be careful fishing on that lake. Those cartels will pull right up in the boat and say it's time for you to move. I've seen them in the middle of the night dragging people across, making drops, cars going down to the lake doing pickups, both from people and drugs. It's insane, the stuff that goes on down there, and it becomes common, normal, everyday occurrences where you see a lot of these guys crossing the border dressed in military fatigues. It's insane. And it's a different world. It's a different world of people. If you haven't seen it firsthand, and I've been to the border many, many times. I work with a lot of people down on the border. I'm just a few hours from the border, right here where I'm sitting. And let me tell you, if you hadn't seen it, it's a whole other way of doing things down there.
Yes, for
So
sure.
you gentlemen might know the answer to this question. I might be just dumb, and I don't know. Do we not have the technology with our drones to be able to X-ray IEDs in the road or anything like that?
No, we have certain equipment in the military that does these type of things. You have minesweepers and stuff. But looking at David, can you scroll up so I can see this whole picture, please? Yeah. So this IED is in the middle of the road, which lets me know that this is probably a pressure plate IED, which means if anybody was to run this thing over, it sets it off, which they do have that capability as well. But the military has certain devices. You've got, certain systems that block radio signals and cell phone signals to prevent these things from going off. There's certain IEDs that detect like heat from your engine, and as soon as they detect a certain temperature, they go off. The remote control triggers. Now, if they're wired, you can't really stop those. The pressure plates, they have minesweepers to do those types of things. But those are all military things. Like just flying over a drone over this, I'm not sure if we have the technology to go, oh yeah, there, and there.
Yeah.
So again, this is just the cartel issuing a warning to anybody that's coming across the border to do whatever it is you're doing, that enter at your own risk.
The thing about it, the whole deal is, and I'm sure we should, if Graham was here, he'd be yelling at everybody to blow up the chat. This is, I'm just saying, I look at stuff like this, and to your point, Todd, we couldn't overcome these types of devices in Afghanistan and places that where our military was actually deployed, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they still we got how many people do we know that came home without a limb they took overseas with them? And so to see this on our own border is very disconcerting. The cartels, they got a lot of training. They train.
Yeah.
Like the military. And when this thing pops off, this is not going to be some simple deal. There's going to be some loss of life.
For sure. On both sides. On
both sides.
Now, granted, they're going to be a whole lot more loss of life on their side than ours, but this is not the Afghanistan war. We're not fighting, cave monkeys in freaking Afghanistan. These people are way more organized. They are way more funded. They have the same weapons and the same the same weapons and abilities that we have, if not maybe a little bit more. This is going to be nasty because with Afghanistan and Iraq, the second that we figured out one IED and learned how to defeat it, they just brought up plan B, then plan C, then plan D, and then plan E. And the cartels, they know this. They know the technology that we have. They know the things that we have to circumvent this thing. And it's only going to be a matter of a time before it's pretty much like Superman fighting Doomsday. I mean, you can only beat the dude for so long before he's just immune to everything. I mean, I'm just saying.
Wasn't there a report a few weeks ago that our military, our U.S. military, was helping Mexico train their military to combat the cartels?
Yeah, I talked
with. Doing
that? I talked. You can go back and watch one of my previous episodes. I actually interviewed Chris, who is a special forces operator, a special forces medic currently right now. Those guys are going over into Mexico to train the Mexican infantry. But understand something, all right? And a lot of people are not thinking of this way. It's kind of like, when Alabama, the first game of the season, they play a Division II school. You're only using about 3 pages of your playbook. You're not going to show the whole playbook. So, I mean, basic stuff, will they be teaching them? Yes. But also remember, we trained the Iraqi police, the Afghani police, knowing that half of those people were douchebags and we're just going to use those tactics against us eventually. Same with the Mexican infantry, with the cartels being all in them, fingernails clutched, got their families saying, hey, if you do this, though, a lot of those guys, those tactics will be used against us eventually. This is not going to stop. I mean, it's just not, and bloodshed is going to happen eventually.
That's so. I'm getting a kick out of the fact that we're talking about people blowing each other up, and everybody's worried about Royce looking sad.
I'm just listening.
In the chat, and they're worried about David and who David is. I'm like, listen, we've always got people behind the scenes that are doing
Royce,
stuff.
are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just listening. I'm not super educated on all this stuff, so I have nothing to say.
Royce,
just
blink.
listening.
Blink if you're okay. Blink.
People are worried about Royce. They wanted him to be okay. They're
That's
like,
why y'all have
is
him.
Royce okay?
I mean,
He's
the
fine.
cartels, if y'all don't know, the cartels now actually have drones that can drop ordnance. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can drop ordnance on top of you. That's a very sketchy thing right now. So,
well, my question there is, where's the consequences for this? Where's the consequences for this? You'd say, well, it happened on Mexican, land. There still need to be consequences. This is an American citizen. This is a farmer. There need to be consequences. We need to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, throw your eyeballs or something in the chat for Royce. Don't put some like tears in there. Anyway, I don't know. Royce is fine. People want to know where I can get my hoodie. This is the only one I had it made. I need to get some more made for you guys. Before we move on to the next story, I want to remind you guys about our friends over at Patriot Mobile. They are the only Christian conservative wireless company that's out there. Go to patriotmobile.com/Graham. Use promo code Graham and get a free month. And if you are a first responder, a military veteran, or active duty, they will give you free activation if you call them 972-PATRIOT. Tell them that Graham sent you, and holler at them. Give them a shout. They use the same towers that the big three use. The difference is they have different values than the big three that you pay your money to, and they use a portion of your bill to send to leftist, progressive, crazy causes like Planned Parenthood and a whole lot of other things you don't believe in. They are going to defend your constitutional rights, your Bill of Rights, and all of your abilities to be free Americans. They got a package that will fit your budget and take care of your family, so check them out. They'll switch your number over, switch your phone over. They'll give you a whole new setup, whatever you need, and they got a 100% U.S.-based customer service team waiting to take your call at 972-PATRIOT, or just go online and shop. PatriotMobile.com/Graham. Use offer code Graham. Well, I think every state has like a brain-dead Congress member. Like here in Texas, we got Yasmin and Madam Eyelashes Crockett. Georgia has the gift that keeps on giving, too, in U.S. Representative Hank Johnson. Hank Johnson, if you'll remember, is the guy that he thought that Guam was going to tip over. Literally, he thought Guam, the island of Guam, was going to get too heavy with our military equipment, and the island was going to tip over. This is the brain trust we're working out here. He said, well, play the clip. He's got a plan for the U.S. Marshals. Listen.
If a president willfully failed or refused to comply with a court ruling, they could be held in contempt of court theoretically, but it would be up to the U.S. Marshals Service, which is a part of the Justice Department, to be the enforcement arm for the federal courts. Is that correct?
Your hypothetical would have to play itself out.
It would be the U.S. Marshals who fall under the Department of Justice who would have to carry out the contempt order. And so what would happen if the U.S. Marshals Service, under the command of the Justice Department at the direction of the president, refused to carry out a court order of contempt? What would then be the state of our democracy?
Oh, boy.
Again, I'm here on behalf of the Judicial Conference to talk about the shortage of judges that we have, and I would comment on those needs in particular.
I want to ask you a question while I have you here, because the hamster that runs on the wheel that is my brain is dead and flipping upside down over and over. And this guy goes, sir, I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm here for a completely different reason. He's basically saying, can we send the U.S. Marshals to arrest Donald Trump? I mean, this is oh my gosh. Why do we keep putting brain dead mental patients in power?
Can I throw it just a step further? Because he said we need to send the U.S. Marshals for Donald Trump ignoring a federal judge's order. Well, why didn't the U.S. Marshals kick the doors off the hinges of the White House when Joe Biden was literally bragging that he circumvented the Supreme Court over student loan forgiveness?
I was about to make that point because the left side kept accusing us of trying to arrest a political opponent and this and that and this and that, and now they want to send the U.S. Marshal after Donald Trump.
Yeah.
It's so hypocritical.
In the words of Dan Bongino, double barrel middle finger, sit on it and spin, bro, you hypocrite.
Oh, you guys need to hit the like button. We're giving you pure entertainment here. Thank you, Hank Johnson. Thank you, Hank Johnson. Make sure you hit the like button below the video. Hit that little thumbs up. Hit that little thumbs up. Get in the comment. Get in the chat. You know what? And Trump is worried. He's worried that the U.S. Marshals are going to come. I mean, they're going to come to the West Wing, and they're going to come get him. They're going to perp walk him out of there. And Hank Johnson's going to say, I told you so, that they were going to come and get him. I mean, I was tired, boss. I was tired, boss.
My constituents.
Somebody put this dude. Here's Trump. He's at the White House yesterday. There's a tour coming through. He's not looking for the U.S. Marshals. He's just doing what Trump does, man. They got the tour coming through, got a bunch of young people, and Trump just surprises the tour. I mean, they're in his house. He might as well go say hi to them, and so this is what he does. Play the clip.
But I want to thank you very much for coming. The tour is so great. We did such a good job. First Lady worked very hard in making it perfect, and I think you're going to really love it. And I heard you were here, and I said, let's stop by and say hello. And it's a group of very smart-looking people, I must say. Very smart. Maybe someday you'll be here as the president, right? Somebody in this group has a chance. Have a good time. Have a great tour. And you're going to give them a special tour, okay?
Special tour.
You're going to get a special tour. Have fun, everybody.
Yeah. Come on, baby. DJT in the chat. DJT, USA. DJT, USA. Give me something.
That is awesome. I said this morning we were chatting about it that, you know, can you guys imagine the kids that are on the tour? They're like, Mom, I mean, are we going to see the president? And they're like, no, honey. I mean, the president's busy. He lives on that side. This is just a tour.
There he is.
And all of a sudden he just pops out. I mean, how can you beat that? I mean, honestly, that's one of those things that you go back to school, you're like, I saw the president. Oh my gosh, blah, blah, blah. That's awesome, dude.
And you know what the left would do? The left would watch this video of young people cheering Trump, and they would say, look at all the white faces.
Look at the brainwashed little Americans.
Look at all the white faces. You know why? Because as I said in my opening statement, in my monologue, there are people out there who have literally become cucks for the federal government. They have. They want to be dominated. They want to sit in the corner and watch the federal government dominate the American people. Trump is just a real deal. He comes out and he's like, I want you to give them the special tour. Take them down in the basement. We're going to show them where I hide.
Whoa.
Royce, we need a new graphic. We need a Chad Cuck counter.
Yep.
I don't think I wouldn't like to need that.
Speaking of grand congressional cucks, Eric Swalwell, ladies and gentlemen.
Number 5.
The Nick Sorter.
Oh, it's way more than 5, by the way.
Nick Sorter, he put this out yesterday and said he was going to expose Eric Swalwell. He said Swalwell panics when I ask about his Chinese spy girlfriend, Fang Fang, and whether that's a bigger national security threat than Elon Musk. Apparently he was drunk, by all appearances, at a dinner for 90 minutes. Laura Loomer, Never get on Laura Loomer's bad side. I don't care what you think about Laura Loomer. Don't let Laura Loomer come after you, okay? So, again, they said it's a massive national security threat. This guy should have his clearance revoked. Laura Loomer taped this while they were confronting him. And Nick goes so far as to say the guy's got to be removed from the Homeland Security Committee. I can't disagree.
Man.
Most punchable face in Congress. Let's play the clip. Let's look at Drunken Swalwell.
Not to mention, this is the guy that farted live on TV.
He farted.
He fought it.
So, Congressman, you referred to Elon Musk as a fascist at some point and alluded to him being a national security threat. Do you see that more of a national security threat, you sleeping with a Chinese spy, than transparency in the federal government? What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on that? What's Fang Fang think of that?
What are you doing?
What's Fang Fang?
What's fascistic about exposing government corruption? I mean, I know you're just at dinner now with a bunch of lobbyists. You know, they're buying you a bunch of booze, and you know that's awfully nice. I know you were talking about, maybe finding somebody else because you only like to fuck people that are tens.
Jeez.
I just heard that
Yeah,
one
we
too.
shouldn't play these.
So what do you think about that? Do you want to?
Yeah.
You be bang bang the Fang Fang.
Sorry about that. We try to avoid the F words as much as possible.
We got
wanna keep the
to
show
let one
clean.
slip through. I didn't hear it.
I
Who
heard
heard it?
nothing.
I didn't hear
I
nothing.
didn't hear nothing.
Oops.
Apologies.
I didn't hear it. Meggie Moo
I heard
32
it.
heard it. She said, oopsie.
I heard
Earmuff it.
But again, you know,
Eric,
we play these
farting
we-
Swalwell.
I mean, we try to filter through these clips, but you know,
Yeah,
people say what they say,
sometimes
man,
they
you know?
slip one
Yep.
in there. So, little disclaimer. Put a little, extreme label on the podcast. Here's the deal, folks. These congressional members, they are just hot trash.
God,
And he's glassy-eyed walking out. He's had dinner, according to Nick, with the lobbyist, getting another dinner, getting a whole, getting his drinks paid for, getting the whole thing. What kind of backdoor deals? The stuff that comes out of Washington, D.C. is absolutely disgusting. We were talking about it before the show. It's one big happy hour. That's all Washington, D.C. is. You go out there, it's like watching the World Wrestling Federation. These guys, they fight each other on the media, and then they go out to dinner together, and they're padding their pockets, and they're, getting all the favors and all the kind of stuff. And I've seen it firsthand. I've seen it with my own eyes. I'll be in D.C. tonight. I'll probably see some of it again. And I will report back. I will let you guys know what happens. And yes, Adam Schiff does have a very punchable face, but if you punch Adam Schiff in the face, you will break his pencil neck. Swalwell might actually
I
fight
volunteer
back.
as tribute.
Yeah, just go ahead and do it.
Question
but-
for you, wait, real quick before you move on, Chad. How much power do these people actually have, like these congressmen and all these people? Because obviously, we see all the good that the administration is doing, all the executive orders that Trump's signing, but really, what do Congress people do? What do they? I mean, what if they're out having dinners with lobbyists and doing illegal stuff? Sleeping with supposedly
Fang Fang.
spies. I mean, yeah, Fang Fang. I mean, what do they actually do? What do they do in Washington D.C.?
Well, to me, and I don't know, maybe Chad can answer this better, but just from a redneck perspective, that's just, I put everything in crayon. I use logic. You take somebody like Dan Crenshaw, who got in, and we were all really excited when he got elected the first time because we thought, hey, Navy SEAL, he's got the values of a member of the military coming in. He's going to, go for the American people. He's going to take care of veterans. He's going to help fix the VA. And at some point, he's witnessing all of this stuff go down where these people can get away with anything because they just throw money at it and money gets thrown back at them. And I'm sorry, corruption corrupts all. Like you are either the hero for a minute or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And they get their little clutches and their fingers in them. And the second you take a dollar from the wrong person, it's over. It's done. It's done.
I tell you, to your question, Tony, what they're supposed to do is they're supposed to go up there as a delegated authority to speak on behalf of the people who voted them in. They're supposed to be delegated authority, representatives. They represent a certain group of people, and they're supposed to go up there and express and vote accordingly the will of the people who put them there. But to Todd's point, that's exactly what they don't do. They go up there, somebody puts their arm around them and says, okay, let me scratch your back, and later on you can scratch mine. And once they got you, it's like going to Epstein's Island. You've been gotten. It's been done. It's been done. And so you're there, and they're like, hey, listen, you want to keep coming up here? because again, they're not going up there for the $174,000 salary, right? They're going up there for the power. And they go up there, they get treated like royalty. These lobbyists and all of these other folks just, baby them, coddle them, and say, we'll make. How else does Dan Crenshaw keep getting reelected? Dan Crenshaw has been exposed for the garbage that he is. Because, again, I thought he was something else. I've been around the man. I've been with the man. I've exchanged words with Eric Swalwell. He and I have gone toe-to-toe with each other. I ain't intimidated by none of them.
Yeah. Well, think about it. Think about how easy it is, Tony. Let's just say for a second, like, we all know that, like, you have the moral compass that's closest to Jesus than the rest of us.
Oh,
But
my goodness.
I'm serious. I'm not, like, blowing smoke up your
Who'd you
butt.
say does?
Like,
Tony does?
Tony does.
Okay.
I mean, you are a moral compass. I mean, I've said that before. And you get elected to something, and, like, these people, hey, congratulations, we want to take you to dinner. And you go to dinner to this fancy restaurant, and they just so happen to sit next to you, this smoking hot supermodel, to have dinner. You don't know anything about it. And then, hey, why don't everybody lean in for a picture? And you lean in shoulder to shoulder with this beautiful woman. They take a picture of it. 3 days later, they go, hey, sign this bill, or we're going to put this picture everywhere, and we can put whatever headline we want to it.
Yeah, but at that point, I guess having a moral compass means, why put yourself in that situation? I mean, obviously, if and this is just an analogy I'm saying, if you're a married man and you have a super red hot stripper model coming out asking you to go to dinner with her, I mean, you as a married man say, no, I'm not going to put myself in that situation.
I'm talking about all of y'all go to dinner.
Why would I tempt myself to do that?
Yeah, I'm talking like 6 people at the table. Y'all all work together, and that's the oddball that just happens to be sitting next to you, and it's a bait.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, if these lobbyists they're obviously asking you to go to dinner with them for a purpose. They're not just going to take you to dinner just for nothing, just to talk about the weather. They're going to take you out to dinner to give you their agenda and how they want you to vote. Why put yourself in that situation? Just say, no, I got voted in by my constituents. I'm doing it for a certain reason.
You would think that that's what people would do, but not everybody is as strong as that. And men are men, and they get in positions, and that's blackmail. And it goes way further than just a photo with an attractive woman. They get evidence that is undeniable of you doing things that you shouldn't be doing, and that's corruption. That's corruption. Well, that's not only corruption, it's blackmail. The lightest side of that is you just so happen to take one small little corruption deal, you do a thing for them, and you can't let anybody know that you did it, and then you're in for life. That's the lightest thing. And it goes as deep as getting video or photo of you doing something illegal or inappropriate or whatever it is. It's a whole rabbit hole. And like we talked about last week, and somebody even mentioned it in the comments that I mentioned it last week. Once you're in, you're in. There's no getting out. It's like the cartel. It's like the mafia. Once you've done the illegal thing that will ruin your career, they will force you to continue to do illegal things to push their agenda.
Let me go even further. Let me go even further. What you guys are describing is far simplistic compared to what they actually do in D.C. There's stuff that goes on. There are people that work in your office. They can buy those people. There are people who can do things that work for you, that are connected to you, that they do things, and now it's attributed back to you. There are things that you may not even be responsible for. There might be, something that's done. And again, it's a wicked, tangled, sticky web that they can weave and trap people. But at the same time, if you keep integrity and you can keep, the transparency going, that's a hard thing to do in a place like Washington, D.C., because there is so much greed, so much power, so much corruption, and it comes after you. And it is a temptation. But, Capitol Hill is a deadly place. It's a dangerous place, man. If you've spent any time up there, it's wild. I've seen some crazy things in there. And you get to a point, Tony, where, you think, I'm just going to keep my nose clean and all this kind of stuff. But, man, I say all the time, why isn't there more transparency? And why is there $17 million paid out in a slush fund for sexual harassment claims? Why do these things exist? Why aren't more people that claim to be on our side speaking out about more transparency to be there? There's some dirty, dirty stuff that's going on, stuff that I don't think anybody would even think about or want to mention.
Yeah.
It's happening.
or they Google those late night movies that Chad be renting when he's staying at hotels.
Boy, I don't rent nothing, man.
Wow.
I don't rent nothing. I rented Wicked for $4.99, and then there was something about another witch that cost me $49.99.
Late
It's
night,
weird.
late night nurses.
It was a different Wicked, not the
Different type of Wicked. That was two different movies, man. Well, I never knew they could spell the word wicked with an X in it. All right. Trump declares that there's going to be peace, guys. Breaking: Ukraine has agreed to President Trump's requested mineral rights deal with the U.S. as compensation for the hundreds of billions of dollars America invested. Now, you remember the other day, Vladimir Zelensky came out and said that was a grant. We're not paying it back. Kiev will contribute 50% of future mineral revenue to a joint fund. And so this peace deal that we're talking about, Zelensky says he's coming to the White House, going to sign this deal. This is Trump being Trump, baby. This peace deal, this peace agreement, a lot of it was dependent on this mineral deal taking place. They had to do this. You want us to help you? You want peace over there? You want us to be on, help negotiate this thing? Trump had some things to say about this deal. I'd love to hear in the chat what you guys think about this. I think it's a good deal for America. Trump says, regardless of the money, peace is around the corner. Play the clip.
President Zelensky is coming on Friday to meet with you, and is the mineral deal sorted out? Is it
Yeah,
done?
I hear that. I hear that he's coming on Friday. Certainly, it's okay with me if he'd like to, and he would like to sign it together with me, and I understand that's a big deal, very big deal. And I think the American people, even if you look at polling, they're very happy because, Biden was throwing money around like it's cotton candy, and it's a very big deal. Look, it could be $1 trillion deal, it could be whatever, but it's rare earths and other things. And look, we're spending hundreds of billions of dollars on Ukraine and Russia fighting a war that should have never, ever happened. That's a war that would have never happened if I were president. And it didn't happen for 4 years. People say, how do we know that it didn't happen for 4 years? Would have never happened. And nevertheless, this guy went into this situation and he spent money like nobody's ever seen, $350 billion. The other thing that we don't like is that Europe has spent $100 billion. We've spent $350 billion. Europe gets their money back because they spent it in the form of a loan, and we just gave them.
Yep.
Whether it's 300 or 350 billion, nobody really knows. They can't even tell me the answer to that. It means probably more than that. So what we're doing is now we're saying, look, we want to be secured. We want to get that money back. We're helping a country through a very, very big problem, a problem like very few people have had. Shouldn't have had this problem because it shouldn't.
Yeah. Trump is such a racist. Such a racist.
Can I ask us, and this might be a stupid question. I mean, it seriously, it might, but I just don't know. So when they keep saying these rare earth minerals, okay, is it stupid of me to ask as an American citizen that, okay, what minerals are we talking about? What are we using them for? And what's the benefit of them?
You're asking what are the minerals?
Yeah. Like, I need a list of what minerals they are.
Are you wanting to know if you can buy in on it? Or, what do you want to do?
Just curious. Well, everybody's like, well, they're going to give us rare earth minerals for the billions of dollars that they're giving us.
Well, primarily it's titanium.
No, see? Problem solved.
Yeah. So, the primary earth mineral, that's like 10% of Europe's supply of titanium is Ukraine.
Yeah, I thought it was lithium also.
Well,
there's a lot of lithium.
A lot of deposit of lithium for the batteries.
You say rare earth minerals, and then you get like 2 airplane loads of manure. And you know what I'm saying? I'm just, just asking.
Titanium and lithium, those are the 2 big deals. If you want to, there's a ton of stuff. So you got the, in the chat, it's right there. You got the uranium, you got the cadmium, you got the vibranium.
Yes.
For Captain America's shield, probably. They got a lot of stuff. They got a lot of stuff. There's cobalt. There's tons of stuff that's in there. So, they're like 10% of Europe's supply of titanium. There's a lot of again the lithium. We're talking about power supply. We're talking about one of the things that I like that Trump's doing. Whether you're talking about lithium for batteries or whatever, Maybe you start to feel a little bit of the impetus of, or the motivation of Tesla here with lithium batteries. But Trump is like, for instance, he's pushed for like personal solar, like on homes, like that's an America First agenda. Not these solar farms out there that just take up acres and acres of land, but people having personal solar. That Tesla is leading the way with stuff like that. So you start to see everything kind of connecting on deals like this. But again, my personal opinion is that yes, we need a peace deal. Yes, we need to get paid back. Yes, we need the rare earth mineral rights. But Zelensky has to be held accountable because he is a dictator. He's imprisoned his political opponents. He's canceled elections. These are the kind of things. That's got to be part of the deal. Scott Jennings, who is the only bright shining spot on CNN, this is what he had to say in regards to ending the war. Here was his thoughts. Play it.
I'm willing to give the new administration some latitude to try to enact the political will of the people of the United States, and that is for this to come to an end. The political will to continue to funding an open-ended engagement is draining rapidly. I think you would acknowledge that. And so Trump here is a new broker on the field and has a chance to do something amazing, and that is to get these two people to stop fighting, and in that case would bring some stability to the continent of Europe. And what he has to say publicly about Russia or Ukraine over the course of time, I guess I'm willing to give them some latitude if the ultimate result is this, what Pete Hegseth said initially, a sovereign and prosperous Ukraine, those were his words. The United States strikes a rare earth mineral deal with Ukraine. I would love that. And the governments in Europe decide that they do need to take a little more responsibility for their own national security. If these are the outcomes and the killing stops, they ought to give Donald Trump the Nobel Peace Prize.
Nobel Peace Prize. I mean, again, Nobel Peace Prize has become nothing more than a farce. It's a participation trophy at this stage in the game. I mean, with the fact that became true, completely evident when they gave one to Barack Obama, and then he went on to drone strike 7 nations simultaneously. But I would love to watch the heads explode. Trump should have gotten a peace prize the last term. Mm-hmm. He should have, but they did. I would love to watch the heads explode. So I'd love to, and you guys are killing me in the chat talking about these rare earth minerals. They said we don't need no Chinesium.
And people, at the end of the day, everybody has to remember, I mean, if this were Biden, they would just totally walk all over him, not listen to a word he's saying. Trump is in there. The first 40 days he's in there. He is ending he's potentially ending the war. And that's what he said he was going to do. He said the war will stop as soon as I get in office. Yeah. And what is he doing? He is ending the war. Yeah. I mean, it blows my mind still how the left is still freaking out of he's doing this and he's doing that. He's a piece of blah, 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 blah. I mean, the guy is doing everything he said he was going to do. I mean, and it still doesn't compute in my brain. Yeah, and then some, exactly. Yeah. It does not compute in my brain. I mean, just with this one thing that he's ending the war. Forget about cutting taxes, and obviously we all want that. Cutting taxes and securing the border, everything he's doing. He is ending a war that could have turned into World War III. Yeah. Open your eyes, people. Open your eyes on the left. I mean, come on. Let's give the man credit where credit is due.
I can handle
however you feel about it.
I'll take some mean tweets. tweets. Everybody put mean tweets in the mean tweets in the chat. I'll take a few mean tweets. I like to wake up every day to see what Santa Trump has said. And Trump doesn't sleep. He's up 3 o'clock in the morning signing deals. Making deals, man. He's on the phone. He's like, are we going to talk on the phone? I mean, he's got Zelensky coming to the White House to sign a deal on the rare earth deal. He's got Putin willing to come to the table, and you got the left melting down saying, oh, my God, he's just a puppet for Putin. He's a puppet for Putin. These people would rather watch the world freaking burn than to have some peace. And don't you know the flimsy Lindsey Grahams out there getting, he came out of the bathhouse long enough to get pissed off to realize that his warmongering machine is getting torn down. Come on. Give me some mean tweets and some world peace, baby.
And I'm not going to be satisfied until there is a new presidential election in Ukraine.
Yeah, I'm not got to have it. He's got to be held accountable, Todd. You're right.
I'm not going to be satisfied.
Yeah. And you know what? This is go ahead, Royce. But this was hang on, Royce. Go ahead, but hang on.
No, you go. It's fine.
I'm just going to say.
Get it out.
All these Ukrainian apologists over the years, and now it turns out, guess what? Those of us who called it out from the very beginning, and y'all hated us for it, we were right. We told you Ukraine's the most corrupt country in the world. The money laundering, all the stuff, the dictatorship that Zelensky was, the oligarchs that are over there that we created, buying their mansions in Beverly Hills and posing for the cover of Vogue magazine and partying it up in Kiev. And and we were right. We were right. So suck it. Say it now, Royce.
Well, backtracking a little bit, everybody's talking about these rare earth minerals. I've got two things I want to say. The rare earth mineral thing, like, I get it, because if you can't pay your bills and the bank needs the money, they're going to come to your house. They're going to take your crappy beater car, the forks out of your drawers. They're going to take everything you got because they need to get their money's worth. I think that's kind of what we have to do to Ukraine, because he's admitted we don't know where half the money went. It's gone. But we got to get our money back, and Trump knows that. He's a businessman. And so that's what he's going to do. And I'm not totally against going there and ripping the gold out of their walls and whatever they have, you know.
And go ahead, Royce.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I just wanted to say, to your point, we come out of this situation, and don't forget, Russia is now exponentially weaker, having gone through all of this.
Mm-hmm.
We are the ones who get to set the tone now. Trump knows that.
And to Tony's point about, you know, the liberal woke not opening their eyes to see what Trump is doing, well, I think they are, in a sense, because everything that Trump is doing is helping. The benefits are clearly visible. And what happens when you are proven wrong and you know that you're guilty? You become defensive. And I think that that's what we're seeing on a massive scale on the left. Every liberal senator, politician, everybody is saying, like, oh, Trump this, Trump that. They're becoming defensive and trying to throw it back on us because they know they're wrong. Because it's undeniable that the world is safer and better under Trump. There's no denying it.
Yep. I'm looking at the news right here, and Trump, I saw the clip yesterday where they've got the new Trump was right about everything hats. Did you see that? And he's trying to toss them out to the press corps, and they're mostly having none of it. It's hilarious. I got to get that hat. Trump was right about everything. It's so funny. And listen, what's going on in Ukraine? Got to fix that. What's going on in Russia? Got to fix that. Trump's on the ball. I need that Epstein list like I need toilet paper in the morning. I'm telling you, I need that thing out there. I'm telling you, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, whoever's got it, put it out. Released unredacted. Kash Patel, though, I love this news. He and the FBI have launched an investigation into former director James Comey's spying on President Trump. Spied on the 2016 campaign. We know that happened. We called it out. We said it was happening. And couldn't happen to a nicer guy, old Jim Comey, back when they sent 2 female honeypot agents to infiltrate the Trump campaign. Remember that? Traveled with Trump as well as some high-level staffers. The Washington Times exposed all of that. And worse than that was the off-the-books operation. And the Trump FBI is now attempting to locate those agents. Go get them. Go get them. And while you're out there, go get that smarmy, smug-faced, grinning, pompous Peter Strzok, too. Get all of them.
Adam Schiff.
Mop them up.
All of them.
You remember when Adam Schiff, I know you guys do, remember when Adam Schiff said he had unequivocal, I'm adding syllables, unequivocal evidence, proof of the Russian collusion on the part of Trump. Where is it? Where is it, Adam? You lied. You lied. Go get them. Mop them up, Cash. Oh, and by the way, release the Epstein files
now.
It should have been released in the first term. It should have of Trump's first term. Let's get it out there. I want it released, not redacted. People are mad at me for saying this. I don't care how mad at me you get about it. I want them out there. The House budget resolution, folks, this is some more good news. Some people are worried about it. Passes the no tax on tips and other tax cuts. That's a big Trump win. I know there's a lot of people who disagree with the whole tax on tips thing. Let me just explain it to you. I've said over and over again, it shouldn't be any tax anyway on anything.
None. Taxation is theft, period.
So people, there's $4.5 trillion in tax cuts. The liberal heads started melting down. They started commentating, and they started saying, you're just going to make sure rich people are getting the tax cuts. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Just stop it. So they passed this thing. It was obviously a very close vote. And again, they're going to cut the crap that is going on with Medicare and Medicaid and Social Security, the waste, the fraud, the ineligible people. They're not touching your benefits. They're not, folks. Come on. Don't believe what the MSNBC talking heads with the women with the Adam's apple say to you. All right? Don't believe those people. Lurch doesn't know what she's talking about. You're fine. You're going to be okay. So this is a Trump win. Think about it. That much money, that's a big deal. $4.5 trillion in tax cuts. Show me the money, boys.
Have we heard anything on the ERS yet? Any movement on that?
Oh, you know what? We need to, though.
We need to get an update on that. I want to know where that is and how far away we are from not having to pay taxes.
I'm going to be in a secure room tomorrow. I will ask.
Add that to your list, brother.
I will ask. I'm not going to tell you who I'm meeting with until after the meeting. How about that? But I'll ask about the ERS. Thank you for bringing that up. The External Revenue Service.
Before we move on to Tucker, because I know we were just talking about the government and President Trump, and this just popped in my brain right now when you were talking about giving away those hats about Trump being right about everything. The very first thing that popped into my brain when you said that, Chad, was I started thinking about him in Butler, Pennsylvania with the assassination attempt. Yeah. And what a different Donald Trump we had back then, and what a different country we would have had if they would have gotten to him. I think God works in mysterious ways. I honestly do. I think, things happened for a reason, and I think things got in motion. I mean, we saw what a more gentle, more humble President Trump was leading up to the election, and even after. I think he still has that in the back of his mind, and I mean, it had to affect him to a certain point where you see we just saw the clip of him doing the tour with all the people out there just popping out, just being a regular person. I mean, he puts on his pants the same way we do, one leg at a time. And I just think, God is working in very, very, very powerful ways. And 4 more years of having Kamala the drunk in there would have just destroyed this country and would have led to, I would think, would have been a civil war. And I just have to give thanks where thanks is due. I mean, things are just working so great in our country, and I just want everybody to appreciate that, man.
Thank God, Tony, that 2020 happened the way it did. Here's my thing, and I want you guys to watch. I pre-recorded at 4 o'clock this morning. I pre-recorded my little Bible study that's relevant for what we're watching in our world today. And I make a point. I said, if you're going to go from peak to peak, you got to go through a valley. All right? So if you're going to be high to high and you want to see winning to winning, sometimes you got to go through the valley to go from one mountain to the next. 2020 was our valley. 2020 to 2024, that was our valley. We saw how bad things could be. We got a glimpse of how really bad it could be with Kamala Harris, right? And this is a different Trump. It's a more humble Trump. He's not playing the GOP establishment the way he did in the first term. He's bringing in some Avengers, some real fighters in his cabinet, getting things done. He's not running for re-election, so the gloves are off, and he's pulling no punches. I love this picture right here. Pete Hegseth down there in Guantanamo Bay visiting with folks. I love it, dude. You got to check the bars. We're going to send some people down to Gitmo. We better send some people down to Gitmo. So, yeah. You people in the chat, y'all are funny. I love the trolls. Don't give them the endorphin hit. Okay, don't worry about them. They're losers. They're losers. They want a MAGA hat and they get dark MAGA. Tucker Carlson doubled down on this little threat that was issued by Dan Crenshaw when he said he would effing kill him. Tucker didn't back off at all. He did this little compilation, and we're gonna end this and go over to the super chats. But first, I want you to play this. This is how based Tucker Carlson is. Get him some.
Dan Crenshaw cannot be a congressman again. You just can't. It's just too insulting.
Why is it that Republican states tend to have the least sincere Republican? Dan Crenshaw, apparently still a member of Congress.
And the next time Dan Crenshaw stands up and says, but you don't understand the threat, shut up, Dan Crenshaw. Just about had it with you.
Neocon Congressman Dan Crenshaw, the Nikki Haley of Texas.
The single most left-wing member of Congress I've ever met personally is a Republican from this area who has no interest in the United States whatsoever and does not even pretend. I'm not going to name names. Yeah, it's Dan Crenshaw, the most liberal, most left-wing person I've ever met.
And so they're easily bullshitted by the posturing jackasses in Washington.
That's why
point, Dan Crenshaw has a job.
You, Dan Crenshaw, you're the one whose own children languished and died while you focused on the neighbor's kids. That person is an enemy of everything that you voted for.
I would say that Dan Crenshaw's not too worried about the threat. I would say he's not too worried about it. So anyway, everybody keeps wanting me to run against him. I have no plans to do it.
We got to pray out first before we do super chats.
Hang on, we got to pray it out. Hang on a second. The people are like, who is this mysterious David guy? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
And
We like to have.
Everybody's worried about you not smiling today. What is?
I am smiling. I'm completely normal.
Let me just
I don't
say,
understand.
Royce has a lot on his plate. He's dealing with a lot of things, and it's all good stuff. There are people in the chat that think I'm getting recruited to go to D.C. Look at this redneck. Look at this level of redneck. Do you honestly think D.C. wants anything? Nobody in the administration wants anything to do with me on an official level. I can assure you that. I'll continue being right here running my mouth with you guys. And if
but
you
how
like
great
it,
would it be if
give me
you
a thumbs
were
up.
a congressman and us three would be like your cabinet right behind me? We'd be like, let's do it, man. Let's rock and roll.
Party. they, you know what? Nick Sorter would catch us walking out of the building going, I ain't never seen no fang. Ain't never seen no fang. I'd be running butt naked through Capitol Hill, jumping through the fountains wearing Dan Crenshaw's eye patch. That's what I'd be doing.
Yes.
Except I wouldn't be wearing it around my head.
And it would be perfect because if John Fetterman can get away with wearing a Carhartt hoodie, I can wear whatever I want.
Exactly. I'm just like, you know what? Let's go. We're going streaking. If Matt Gaetz can do it, I can do it too. You know, but we'd get stuff done. We'd have fun doing it.
Absolutely.
You know, we'd smoke good cigars. I'm going to be the honey in the honey pot. That's what he said.
And that's it, baby.
Oh, boy. All right. Well, now we got to repent. Tony, you're the closest thing to Jesus we know, according to...
You're putting me on
Todd.
After all the stuff you just said.
Yeah, you need to pray real hard because I'm
Let me tell you.
Go.
I guess I'm praying. Hold on.
Let's pray, guys. Come on in the chat. Pray with us.
Dear Father, thank you so much for another great show, hanging out with these men, hanging out with everybody in the live chat. As I shared this morning with the live chat, I woke up this morning and I walked out to my car. And I stopped and I just stared up at the sun and I felt the sunlight and I took a deep breath in my lungs and I thought to myself, what great creation you have made for us, how blessed we are being on this wonderful place that you've created for us and what blessings all of us have in our lives. And I think we forget day to day just the little things. I mean, the ability to be able to walk into your own home, have a roof on your head, the food on our tables, the family that's waiting for us there. People just forget the little things, and I appreciate everything you give us all day to day, waking up with breath in our lungs. And I just want everybody out there to remember, just hug your loved ones, be grateful, give thanks to the Lord because He sacrificed the greatest thing in our lives, which was His Son, Jesus Christ, died for our sins. So just bless everybody. Have a safe day. Keep Graham and his family safe. Keep all these men safe. Keep everybody in the chat safe. And all people said, amen.
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 Amen. Hit like right there under the video. Let me make sure that I've done it. Let's make sure, because I told you guys we needed at least 1,500, and I think y'all have let me down. We're at 902. Let's at least get over 1,000. Come on, people.
Come on, guys.
We weren't in the editor's picks again today on Rumble. If you want to, if you want us to read it out, put that super chat in there. It goes to the Graham Allen Fund somewhere. All right, Todd, you got it.
Ratchet. The gold card is replacing the B5 Investor Immigration Program, which gave citizenship green card up front, but they didn't deliver. Now they pay up front and get the green card processed. They are vetted.
I like it. I
figured they'd be vetted at least, yeah.
Yeah, I'm down with this. I want to see how it plays out. I'm cool with it.
Lil Mama Lee. Opinion on the economy blackout Friday. This Friday, ? Saw it was the first to support black business owners by not shopping at big businesses. Then it went all small businesses after it was questioned. Okay.
All right. I got to study up on that a little bit.
Todd Hub fan. I am a little late to the game. Read a post last night that The View didn't renew Whoopi contract. Is that garbage show being canceled? Love the fact that all these racist crap shows are being canceled. Yeah, it's actually 2 of them. It was like Whoopi and another one. I think it was Whoopi and Behart that are not being renewed.
The View.
Hallelujah.
I'm looking it up.
Harley Girl. Good morning, DA fam. Just want to say I love you. Also, I need prayers for God's guidance because I lost my job. Well, one door closes, another door opens.
God's got you.
That's right.
God's got you. Here it comes.
Means 5412. Hey, Todd, I heard you talking the other day about leaving Mississippi. Have you thought about moving to South Carolina so you can be closer to Graham's family and Tony? All options are on the table.
Todd is always
Not if I get your butt to Texas in an RV.
That's true. That's true. Jeff Wallace would be. How great would it be if Trump handed out a copy of all the declassified documents to everyone that visited the White House as a free gift? Here's your goodie bag. I'm down.
I would
You
love
got
to
your
get that.
Epstein, you got your Didi in there.
Yeah.
I assure
Everything's in
you, if
there.
I come back from D.C. with that dossier, I'm going to read it Monday morning right here.
Nice.
Okay.
Yes, all of it.
Ooh.
I might make
Todd
something up.
fan. We need to just start making citizens arrests on all these corrupt government officials. I agree with that.
Just wrestle them to the ground. We'll all go to
Tackle
jail
'em.
together.
Yeah, for real. Ball Amanda. Hey, Chad, when we saw you in Cushing, Oklahoma a year ago, my husband asked you about Dan Crenshaw. Pretty sure you predicted it all.
Yes, I did.
Facts. Alicia Victoria. Today is my dad's 60th birthday, and the first time in my 36 years he's sober.
Wow.
My mom is listening with Dad in earshot, and could you wish
Eusebio.
Eusebio a happy birthday? Sorry, a Mexican name may have Tony have to say it. Yep.
Did we get it right, Tony?
Tony, say
What
it.
is it? I'm sorry, I wasn't.
Eusebio.
Eusebio?
Where is it? What?
Read
You don't see it?
man.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Eusebio.
Eusebio. Happy
Eusebio.
birthday.
Eusebio, happy birthday.
It might be Esebio.
Happy birthday.
Esebio. Oh my gosh.
Happy birthday. Harley Girl, God led me home to Mississippi with that job. I prayed for a sign on what and where he wants me to be that morning, and then I was let go. I take that as a sign. I'm not stressing over it. God has me on a path. You're
Come
already
on.
on the right track, girl. MX wife. It's like throwing a rock across a pond, a ripple effect, guilty by association sometimes. You need to make sure you don't be put in a compromising position. True statement.
True.
True. Skip. One goal of the U.S. securing these rare earth minerals is to keep China from the opportunity of securing them. By the U.S. gaining access, we reduce the Chinese Belt and Road movement.
That's right.
Solid
That's right.
argument there.
That was a big initiative, that Belt and Road.
Striker J. Fun fact, Obama killed more civilians in airstrikes in his first year as president than any other presidents in American history in their entire 4 to 8 year term. FBI was caught destroying some of the Epstein list. I'm telling you.
Well, I'll be like the Joker
Striker
in
J.
Batman Returns. Or the Penguin down there piecing all them shredded papers together. I want to see it.
I want it. B. Jewel. We need a Tony and Todd faith decision show. Would love to listen on my pest route.
Well,
You never know.
What, do they come to Jesus every time? Like every episode? Another way. Have that faith decision. I like it.
Adam Jensen. It is very ironic how after Apple announced its $500 billion U.S. deal, iPhone started showing Trump if you say racist using the voice text. And
There are a lot
that
of
was
good
true.
I tried it.
Good
It didn't
point.
work for me.
So
worked
I
for
even
me.
updated my phone and tried it. It didn't work for me, but I have friends and family who sent me screen recordings of them doing it, and it did happen.
I did see a bunch of clips, people doing it as well. I mean, it
Yeah,
happened.
definitely happened. You know,
I've got posts out there of my phone doing it. Alicia Victoria, maybe a stupid question, but why do you guys take your hats off for prayer? It's just a respect thing.
Yeah.
It's
Same
respect.
thing, yeah.
Same
Same
reason-
reason when I
reason
meet a
national
woman, I
anthem.
tip my hat or take it off.
Same reason you take your hat off for the national anthem.
Same reason people salute.
Showing respect. E-Trucker. Would it be possible for Graham to pop up on the show every once in a while for a minute or two just to say hi? That'd be cool.
That's a question for Graham. We don't know what's legal.
don't know what's legal.
We don't know yet.
Don't know what he can do. That's the thing about security clearances. They keep you secure.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
clear.
FYI, guys, I did chat with Graham a little bit yesterday, or I was texting him. He told me to tell everybody in the live chat that he misses you guys and
he does miss you.
Loves you guys, and thank you for supporting the show. So.
Yeah. And I talked with I got a text from Graham. We all got a text from Graham this morning. He sent us a funny thing. Let me just say, Graham does love you guys. This is something we didn't say the other day when Graham made his announcement. I was so happy that announcement went viral the way that it did, and Graham got the attention and love and the congratulatory notes that he did. Let me say that when you invest yourself in something like this, it's like having a baby. I mean, it's your precious child, and to hand over the Dear America show the way that he has to this team of men is a daunting thing. And I know it carries a lot of weight for Graham, and so we don't take any of that lightly. And I know you guys in the chat and in the listening audience, you don't take that lightly either. So thank you for entrusting Graham and entrusting us with that responsibility. We take it very seriously. So yeah, we love Graham. He's awesome. We love Alyssa and the kids. All right, boys, that's it. What do we got to say other than goodbye? Thank you guys for tuning in. Hit the like, hit the share. Again, we weren't in editor's picks today, so it takes a family, it takes a village, and we need you guys to share this episode as much as you can. Tune into my show today at 2, and of course Todd's. And Tony, final words, my brother.
Hey, good luck tomorrow on your visit to Washington. Hopefully you get some good intel and bring it back with us on Monday, dude. So,
man,
have fun.
We're just going up there, see the parties.
Yeah, but I want you to infiltrate yourself into and see what you can.
Remember that video? Remember that video a couple of weeks ago where that dude was trying to climb over the front gate and he got his britches hung up? Mm-hmm. That'll be me. All right,
that's gonna be you.
Nice. But I love you.
I love you. All right, Todd, what you got, baby?
Hey, don't forget to catch me right after Chad at 3 p.m. Central, 4 Eastern. Also, go to redpillthreads.com/hot seat and get your Trent shirt. He has his own merch right now. Don't be you can be a troll, but don't be a Trent. So go get your shirt today.
I'm sure Trent loves the fact that you're making money off of him and he gets nothing.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, is he getting royalties on that?
Absolutely not.
He can't. It just says Trent. He's not using his last name. He just says Trent. Yep.
Yes, Graham is still in control of his X page, and they are still posting over there. Yes, there will be a Dear America show tomorrow morning, and my show will be around this afternoon. I pre-taped it 4 o'clock this morning, so hopefully my rambling makes some sense. I think hopefully it will. Royce, what you got, baby?
Love you guys. Appreciate all the concerns. I promise you guys I'm fine. I'm happy. I just had to work a little bit during the show, so I may have looked focused, but I'm happier than you guys even know. It was funny. Everybody was so concerned. I was like, thank you guys. But We'll see you guys tomorrow on the show. Catch y'all next time.
Yeah, and my shirt of the day is Weaponized Common Sense over at redpillchad.com. Go check it out. I'm taking off, boys. I'm headed to the airport. I love all of you guys. I love the folks in the chat and the Dear America family. You guys have embraced me like a warm hug, and I like it. I appreciate y'all so much. Share it, like it, do all the good things that we need to do, and keep your head on a swivel, folks. Text Graham to 989898 and visit patriotmobile.com/Graham. Dear America's back tomorrow morning, and we love you. God bless you. We'll see you then.